Hello there, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba.
I'm John Humphrey.
We're going to watch an honest trailer. We haven't watched one of these in a while. Well, I kind of watch them weekly. But we haven't done a reaction to one in a while. This one just sounded way too damn intriguing. It's called MCU. How the hell are they going to do an honest trailer for all those films? Just one video? I don't know. Before we get into that, I wanted to mention that I am going to be back on Movie Fights next week. I was on Movie Fights not long ago, actually. The live stream sort of cut out, so they had to re-upload it at like midnight, affected some of the view count, but that is actually one of my personal favorite Movie Fights. I was there with Trisha Hirschberger, Markia McCarthy, Hal Rudnick hosting. It was a great episode, really loved it. I hope that you guys can go check it out. There's a link in the description box and pinned comment, and keep a lookout when I'm on there next week. I think I'm supposed to go on Screen Junkies News as well. Just a Screen Junkies Day with all the junkies at the Screen Junks. Yep, let's watch this.
Presented by The Boys, taking the fight to superheroes on Amazon Prime Video on July 26th.
That superhero show?
With Carl Urban.
Do them all. 300!
Oh, special episode.
I love you 300th.
In a world where a bankrupt comic book company sold the film rights to its best characters for peanuts because they thought movies would be a good way to sell more comics, a young executive will do what he can with the rejects that no one wanted
Rejects.
and do so well they get bought out by Disney before it was cool. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, except for Endgame. Welcome to the MCU, a TV series made of movies about comic books, where magic is actually science.
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science.
But not by magic, by technology.
Magic.
Science.
But science is basically magic.
Boy Scouts of
Boy
America.
Scouts of America.
This is a worthwhile organization. I didn't physically check the crates.
And meet your typical MCU protagonist, a loner with no pets, no biological siblings, and whose only friends are their co-workers. Aww, whose personality can range from lighthearted quipster
I'm sorry, Earth is closed today.
to stern, duty-bound military type.
You get hurt, hurt him back. You get killed, walk it off.
And on a long enough timeline, everyone becomes a quipster.
Yeah.
Please, you've been to space.
Follow along on their hero's journeys.
Not far
where
from
after
home.
a motivating Uncle Ben situation, they'll get a transformational hairstyle, cut some carbs, and find the strength to boldly say their superhero name out loud.
I'm Captain America.
I am Iron Man.
I'm Thor, son of Odin.
I'm Ant-Man. I'm
Nick Fury.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, here's my made-up names. I'm Spider-Man then.
Star-Lord.
Who? But people say a hero is only as good as their villain. And thank God that's not true, or the MCU would be hot garbage.
Yes.
Thrill, as they spare 10 minutes to establish a bad guy who's just like the hero, but evil. Or a faceless horde. Can't feel bad if it doesn't have a face. Or actually a pretty awesome character and they're dead. But everyone knows the real villain of the MCU is Dads.
He was cold. He was calculating. He never told me he loved me. He never
Good
told me he
point.
liked me.
Favorite Thor all these
Oh, good point.
To turn your backs on the rest of the world. Well, of course I have issues. That's my freaking father.
I will hunt my father like a dog and I will tear him apart slowly, piece by piece, until he knows some semblance of the profound and unceasing pain I know every single day.
Yeah.
Tremble before the girth of a meticulously planned story told across 23 separate movies, all about Thanos killing half the universe. Well, first he has to get an Infinity Gauntlet. No, not that gauntlet.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah, that one. And then gather the Infinity Stones. Well, send proxies to get them. And he gives one away, but eventually he'll get the stones. Some aren't stones.
While the other relics often appear as stones, the ether is fluid.
But then he'll kill half the universe, which also doesn't make much sense. Oh, also, the timeline doesn't work out.
Freaking Sony.
Maybe this wasn't so planned out after all. But the films do sort nicely into 3 distinct phases. The conventional pop songs phase, the boundary-pushing experimental phase, then the woo, we can do no wrong, I'm a golden god phase. And if Rock Ducks have taught me anything, phase 4 will have the MCU puking in the gutter, wondering where it all went wrong.
Let's hope
from
not.
the farthest reaches of Viking space, to alternate dimensions, to the wonders of Earth. Oops, that one's Utopia. and marvel at how everything still kinda looks and feels the same, as visionary indie filmmakers are funneled into the Marvel style of overlit digital video where everything is CGI. Every story is full of sexless romance that never takes off.
No! What the hell?
Bloodless violence that never leaves more than a couple of forehead scrapes.
All that for a drop of blood.
Lifeless soundtracks with more dad rock than you can shake a pair of middle-aged screenwriters at.
Feels so good. Chuck Mangione, 1977.
Marvin Gaye, 1972 Trouble Man soundtrack.
Hooked on a feeling. Blue Sweet. 1973, that song belongs
Wow.
to me.
Or toothless comedy that's just saying pop culture things.
So this orb has a real shiny blue suitcase, Ark of the Covenant, Maltese Falcon sort of vibe.
I loved you in A Christmas Story. Shooting Knight Rider or touring with his band in Germany. No hard feelings, Point Break. You got a mean swing.
We'll build my new Lego Death Star.
What?
Try me, Beyonce.
That man is playing Gallagher.
You ever see this really old movie, Aliens?
We're getting no help from Flash Gordon.
I'm very poppin', y'all.
Shall we play a game? I can footloose the movie.
Exactly like Footloose.
Squidward, Grimace,
Legolas, personal flying monkeys.
I understood that reference.
Blue Lagoon.
Gandalf, and Harry.
Oops, that's Pixels. So settle in for an interconnected movieverse that had a 1 in 14,605 shot of working. But those odds didn't stop every other studio from awkwardly mashing their IPs together like a junior high dance floor, leaving Marvel as the only one standing in a dying industry.
I could do this all day.
But launching a whole new industry of Marvel movie news, theory and analysis, channels that just complain about Marvel movies, and even comedy web series that would have died a long time ago if Marvel movies weren't so popular. So one way or another, in the end, everyone's getting paid by Disney. You shills.
Ah, good end.
Science geniuses.
You can achieve heavy ion fusion at any reactor on the planet.
Quantum phasing, when an object moves through different states of matter.
An Einstein-Rosen bridge is a theoretical connection between two different points of space.
A wormhole.
The quantum system would revert back to separate states of matter.
Why didn't you just reprogram the synapses to work collectively?
When did you become an expert in thermonuclear astrophysics?
Last night.
Jumping out of airplanes.
Yeah.
Those are all great shots.
And spaceship.
Oh, that's right.
People of color. Leg scissors.
That's all Black Widow.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's
One
right.
wasn't Black Widow. Two. No. Oh, wait a minute.
4.
I mean, majority are definitely Black Widow.
Trans, yeah.
Audis.
Yeah.
Man. Then you get a Hyundai and you like it. Dual wielding.
Wow. There are so many tropes I just never noticed.
Yep.
Dick measuring.
I mean, have a big gun. You are not the big gun. Tony, don't be jealous.
I look like raging fire. So I like smoldering fire.
My record, 21 feet.
Not bad.
You?
65 feet. Whoa. Yeah. Huge.
65.
You get an Iron Man suit, and you get an Iron Man suit,
Yes.
and you get an Iron Man suit. Weird non-Stan Lee cameos.
Hey, the Oracle.
Good idea for an electric jet.
Oh yeah,
Elon Musk.
God damn it, yeah.
Multi-hit combos.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all so cool.
Knock him dead at
Yeah.
Are you sure you know how to fly this thing?
You know how to fly this thing?
We'll see.
I thought you said you knew how to fly this thing. I said, how hard can it be?
Here, take the wheel.
No, I don't know how to fly one of these.
Hey, you're a scientist. Use one of your PhDs.
And never forget the Battle of Guardians 1. They're sitting in Star-Lord's jizz.
By the black light, this looked like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Ugh, gross, dude. The never-ending story.
That's good. That's real good.
Oh man, we forgot to say anything about the ABC shows, Netflix series, one-shots, and spin-offs. So did Kevin Feige. This episode is sponsored by the Boys series on Amazon Prime Video, premiering on July 26th. It's the first episode of our new series, Fandom Uncovered, all about Twilight fans. Yes, do we have the healthiest history with Twilight?
Amazon's
Not
working
so
with
much,
Screen Junkies
but
lately.
should you check out the official
Or
launch of
fandom.
our new series?
Yeah.
Heck yes, you should.
Get it right. Real fan would know that.
You know what they didn't point out? How they paid tribute to the Star Wars with the arm getting cut off.
Oh yeah.
Surprised they point that out.
A lot of
That
people
happens
lose arms and hands.
That
yeah.
even happens in Endgame.
Mhm.
There's usually someone who gets a hand cut off in one of the MCU movies. And I guess I don't need to point out the sky beams. Yeah, they pointed out in honest trailers
push
before.
the sky beam into its
Yeah, but
zeitgeist.
I first noticed it from when they pointed it out in some honest trailer. I think it was like Ninja Turtles or something.
Culminating in the same Blue Beam Skyhole finale as every other movie this decade. What is up with the 2010s and Skyholes?
Then I started noticing, oh yeah, that is a common trope.
a lot of
huh?
sky beams
And
now.
Marvel really did accentuate that. But this was great. There were so many tropes I just
yeah.
never picked up on.
This was a lot like the Wes Anderson one to me, picking out all these different elements that I looked past and just wouldn't have thought of since the movies are so spaced out over time.
It's probably for the best that Kevin Feige never really acknowledged those television shows, especially with what they have going on now with the Disney streaming service, where they're going to go a lot more connective with the actual films, whereas you probably run yourself into a weird corner if you really did go out of your way to connect, especially those Netflix shows, because those all just got the boot out of nowhere. And I mean, I'm sure they saw it coming in some fashion. I never seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of those shows, but for the Netflix ones, I'm like, well, it's probably best you didn't go out of your way to connect those now. It was always a bummer they didn't get acknowledged, specifically the Netflix ones, because those were the ones I watched, and I want to be acknowledged. I mean, there are people who watch those ABC ones who didn't watch the Netflix ones, but they don't matter. What matters is they should have gotten the Netflix ones in there.
I mean, I watched a lot of the Runaways, but it's cool.
I watched the Runaways too. I watched the full first season. Is that canceled?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about a season 3.
Has anybody? Has anyone watched season 2? Can you comment and tell us if it's any good?
Is anybody watching Cloak and Dagger?
Would the countless times Loki died be considered a trope?
I feel like that's maybe a second tier Marvel trope for sure. Loki just never reliably dies.
Well, yeah, he's died or been locked up, and you think he's gone, and now he's getting his own show.
Yeah.
So he's always coming back.
No one's ever really dead in the MCU.
I love the thing that they said about the dads. I don't know how I ever missed that. As someone like me who goes to therapy, I feel like I would notice that, all the daddy issues that come into play. But man, that is so prevalent in the MCU. Some of these are like nitpick trope, whereas this dad thing seems to go over all of like the main MCU films, from Iron Man to Loki, his relationship to the whole concept of Thanos with Gamora and Nebula. I never put that together, and it's so damn freaking Star-Lord with Ego. I'm actually like blown away by how I totally missed that.
Well, and it goes to show too why a lot of the heroes anyway are so competitive with each other and have a certain element of compensational machismo.
Yeah,
because they've all got troubles with their dads. They're all just trying to live up to him and prove they're good enough.
I'm half Asian. Now that they're going to be doing a Asian-led MCU film with Shang-Chi, now you can finally get the trope of neglectful, disciplinary mom for Shang-Chi and have that be a driving force.
Dude, diversity, man.
I think if Kevin Feige, white genius producer, wants to capitalize on Asian culture, you gotta have the neglectful, emotionally abusive Asian stereotype mom in there.
Oh, definitely.
And let that be the driving force. We haven't gotten that yet. We've gotten all these terrible dads, but what about the awful moms?
What about a bad mom? I mean, the most we've got is Aunt May right now, and she's killing the game. She's great. The game. She's super cool and relatable.
I want to clarify, I love my mom. I just don't want to get hit with a sandal later. So that's why, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Clarifying.
I do, though.
Yeah, well, that turns you on, so that's a different thing. White people trying to just take advantage of Asian culture in their sick, provocative ways. Talking to you, Joe Star. Oh, they did bring up a good point, though. What is Marvel Phase 4 going to be like? I like the correlation they made between how like bands tend to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great analogy. So now we're just hearing that analogy made me go, oh, shit. Does that mean Phase 4 is going to suck now?
Or is Phase 4 at least going to be strange and bumpy while they figure out what the new... Yeah, because they have I thought that was interesting that they pointed that out, that like so many franchises, and it's not a new fact, but to see them all kind of together, you're like, yeah, Marvel is the one massive cinematic universe that is truly and honestly working boundlessly at the moment, and no one else is doing that really. I wonder, and I hope they take advantage of the fact that they're in a position to try some new stuff out, you know?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Bottom line, they made a great point. We are all Disney shills at the end of the day.
We are.
We are all owned by Disney in some capacity. And I'm okay with it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Helps keep every YouTube channel in the movie business alive. I love how they said they wouldn't cover any of Endgame, but they...
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Threw a clip from Spider-Man Far From Home in there.
You know.
We'll skip that, but we'll use a trailer moment from Far From Home.
Oh yeah, because Sony doesn't care as much as Marvel does,
Yeah, that's true. What did you think of this honest trailer? Are there any tropes that they did not point out? You can subscribe to the Reject Nation, subscribe to Screen Junkies, keep a lookout for that Movie Fights episode. Click that notification bell, you know, all that crap YouTubers say. Like buttons exist. And last but not least, I would like to give a Patron of the Day shout out to a lovely lady named Rosa, known as the Lady Stark of our channel. And fortunately, because Lady Stark wasn't in season 8, it's still a very positive thing to say.
Hey!
I want to say I love you, guys. She gives great reviews. She has her own Instagram and Twitter page, her own site, Rosa Reviews. I follow her on Instagram and Twitter, and every time she posts on Instagram, I always read her little blog post reviews. It's always great getting her opinions. She's constantly doing giveaways. 5 years in, we've never done a giveaway. We're greedy, but she does plenty of giveaways. It sounds hard and time consuming. Why would I do that for the people who love us? No. But Rosa, you're something special.
Oh yeah. Much love to you and a happy belated Mother's Day. Shouts out to Cassandra and the rest of your children.
Yeah, we don't know their names.
We don't know the rest of their names.